Welcome to Mushroom Hunting Utah. I'm Blaine Washburn, and I've created this channel because I have an obsession with mushroom hunting. I grew up doing it. My dad was a big mushroom hunter. I have so many memories going on mushroom hunting trips with him, finding all kinds of different mushrooms, and I grew up just absolutely enjoying it. It's super weird thing to enjoy. I think a lot of people look at me funny when I say that I enjoy hunting mushrooms, but I've been doing it for years, and I found some amazing places in Utah. And I haven't really documented too well everything that I've been doing and finding, but I've decided to go ahead and start documenting it and sharing it with the public, helping people out there who are wanting to get into mushroom hunting, and just helping them understand where to look and how to be careful, how to make sure you're eating something that is edible and not something that'll hurt you. And I better say it right now, don't ever eat a mushroom without having a 100% sure positive identity of what that mushroom is. And if you go to the Utah Mushrooms of Utah Facebook page, you can post pictures there. Make sure you get the top and the underneath and the stem and also the base for a proper identification. And they may ask you to do spore prints and other things to be 100% sure with different mushrooms. But if you're careful and as you get to know how to identify mushrooms, this can turn into a really fun hobby. One of the main reasons why I enjoy it is because it gets me outdoors. It's just a reason for me to go out and hike, and I love to hike. It helps keep me in shape, and I just love it. And I love to eat mushrooms too. They're super yummy. The wild ones that we get out in our Utah mountains are absolutely delicious if you know which ones you can harvest and eat. So I hope these videos are super helpful to you. I intend to make them just as interesting as I can. I'll shoot video and help you understand how and why mushrooms may be growing in different areas, and I'll help you identify the characteristics of mushrooms that are safe and also ones to stay away from as well. But this is a lot of fun. It's a super fun hobby, and I really hope that you enjoy my channel. Just to kind of whet your appetite, I am going to share with you a few videos and photos that I've taken from the past that I have actually saved, just to kind of show you some of the mushrooms I've been able to find. My favorite mushroom to hunt is probably the Morel mushroom, and this one's interesting because it probably took me, I don't know, 8 years or so to find my first Morel mushroom. And I live here in Utah. A lot of people perceive Utah as being in kind of an arid state, a tough place to maybe find mushrooms. Everyone thinks of the Pacific Northwest or the Oregon Mountains, maybe into California and some of those places as great mushroom places. But what I've discovered is Utah is absolutely an amazing mushroom place. I might prefer it over the Pacific Northwest in many ways, but Utah has some amazing mushrooms, and the more you understand them, the more you understand when they bloom, when they fruit, the like temperatures and different things that trigger them, and how they follow temperatures up a mountain, for example. It's just you can have so much fun with them. But it took me 8 years to find that first Morel mushroom. I remember hearing people and seeing people post things about them finding Morel mushrooms here in Utah, and I didn't believe it. I was like, I cannot find any Morel mushrooms in Utah. I don't think they're here. However, I found my first one. Today I'm at the mouth of American Fork Canyon, and I will say it doesn't matter which canyon you go up. You can find morels and most mushrooms up just about any canyon here in Utah. I'm at the mouth of American Fork Canyon, where happens to be where I found my first Morel mushroom. And but I've found them basically up every single canyon up and down the Wasatch Front that I've searched in. And it's just a matter of timing, and that's more important than anything to find these Morel mushrooms. Just to share with you some of what I've done. Not too far from Ogden, I've got a really favorite spot, and that was one of my early spots that I found mushrooms at, and I've gone back there every single year, and I found them there now. So, and that's going to be the key. You look and look and look, and you learn, try to identify areas where they may be, and when you find a spot, you go back to that spot every year, and more than likely they're going to pop up again the following year and the year after and the year after. That's the key. And I've gradually built up my spots that I know, and that I just know that they're going to pop there, and now I've probably got 20 different spots that I routinely go to, and I probably could have a ton more than that, but 20 is enough. That keeps me pretty busy. I have a hard time checking those spots. I probably only get to half of them every year, and you know, it's just been incredibly fun for me. So don't give up. If you're one of those people who can't seem to find a morel mushroom and have a hard time believing they're here, they are 100% here, and it's just a matter of finding spots that have them and then going back to them every single year. This year I fully expect to find a lot of morels. It may be my best year. This is, you know, we're March right now, mid-March. I'm super getting excited for this year. Morel seasons typically starts the mid-April, and it starts at the lower elevations, and I expect to find a lot this year. I mean, it's 2023, and as everyone knows that lives here in Utah, the 2022-2023 year, we had a lot of water out in the mountains. A lot of water in the mountains. It's one of I think I saw in the news the other day that it's our heaviest actual water year ever. It's we have more inches of water in our snowpack than we've ever had this time of year, and so so that's a super good start. But also things that are going to be key is what are the weather patterns moving up through spring and into summer. The wetter that it is, the better they're going to be. Perhaps my best morel year ever was a few years back when we had a really cool spring. It was cool clear into June. I couldn't believe it, and I found some of the biggest morels ever. I'll have to share some pictures and slip some pictures in here for you to see of these morels that I found, but they're as big as my hand, and I found large quantities of these big ones. I wish I took a picture of all of them, but I was just excited to find them, and I was saving them, and I was keeping them. But anyway, I've had a lot of fun with this, and that year when it was super cool, the cooler the spring, the more likely we're going to have some amazing morel mushroom finds, and the bigger and the higher quantity of morel mushrooms. But anyway, let me jump in and share with you some of what I've been able to find. One more thing before I actually get into that. I know there's going to be a lot of people who want to know where my spots are. And to be honest with you, you know, if you find a good spot and you're willing to share with me, I'll probably share a spot back with you. Yeah, but the truth is I'm not going to be sharing spots publicly, because anytime an area gets over harvested, you know, it kind of gets hammered. People start picking them way too small, and before you know it, you know, it's hard to find any mushrooms there, and we don't want that to happen to any spot. So I encourage you to go out and find your spots. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of spots throughout the state of Utah that have great morels, let alone all the other mushrooms that are out there. And I keep on saying morels, but you know, I love to find the Boletus edilis. A lot of people call it the porcini or the king mushroom. Utah has some great porcinis and king mushrooms. And I also love to find like the oysters, Sarcodon imbricatus. Those are fun ones to find. Some people, I think they might call them hedgehogs. But the agarics, lots and lots of agarics here in Utah. There's some places where they're really prolific. Okay, so a really fun one is the Gyromitra montana. You got to go up high to those, up in the high Uintas, between 9 and 10,000 feet. Actually, I think you can get them lower than that too, a little bit earlier in the year, but I typically go after the morel season, or at least towards the end of the morel season. I go up and I find those Gyromitra montanas. Those are super fun. You can find shaggy manes, the Caprinus comatus, just about all through the summer year. So it's spring, I find them in you know, beginning mid-April or so. They probably come a little bit earlier than that, but you can find those all throughout the year, both up in the mountains and in the lower elevations. You find those in lawns quite a bit, and they're wonderful to eat. They go bad super quick, so once you pick them, you got to eat them quickly, same day. If you don't, you know, those Caprinus, the mushrooms in the Caprinus family, they get inky really fast, and you know, they just melt and become not good at all. But if you eat them fresh, they're delicious, absolutely yummy. Let's see, what else do I have that I wanted to just mention? Oh, the Lechinum insigne. A lot of people call those the aspen boletes, and I found some great spots up here, up American Fork Canyon, but again, you can find them anywhere, up any canyon. For them, you probably want to get into about 7,000 to 8,000 feet. Right in there is where I find I have had my best luck finding the Lechinum insigne. But as I make these videos, you're going to see that I basically will show you everything that I find, and I focus in on the edibles. That's what I'm most interested in, and that's what most people are interested in. So I focus in on the edibles. You'll see me pass a lot of mushrooms that I just haven't taken the time to learn because I know they're not edible and they're not one that I'm interested in. But I'll still show a lot of those on film. Just so you can see what I'm running into when I'm out and about. But I welcome you to subscribe. This is going to be super fun sharing with you what I'm finding. I've had a lot of fun with mushroom hunting.